Hello, and welcome to another episode of Beyond Energetics. This is Sarah, and just for this moment, I invite you to take a breath with me, not to change anything, just to simply arrive here and now. If you're listening while driving, walking, folding laundry, or even lying on the floor, you do not need to do this perfectly. Just notice that you're here, you're present, and you're in this moment in time. Today, I want to talk to you about something that's been coming up everywhere, quietly and loudly, even if we don't always have the words for it. So many of us right now are living in some version of I can't focus, I can't rest, I feel disconnected. I am trying so hard to be present, but my body just won't cooperate. And what I want to say right away is this is that there is nothing wrong with you. We have been maybe influenced by society and the hustle culture to think that if we're not producing, we are really doing something wrong or bad, or we're not contributing to society, we're not living up to our best lives. But let me just reiterate this one more time. There's nothing wrong with you, and hustle culture is so overrated. We as a collective are living in a time where our nervous system is constantly under demand. It's being demanded from the moment we wake up in the morning to the moment we fall asleep. There is information overload, emotional labor, caregiving, pressure to perform, wellness, taking care of your body, your mind, your soul, the pressure to look good, to look 20 years younger than what we really are. And we are trying our best to hold it together. Even when we're not, we're putting on these masks to appear a certain way so that we can move through with a little bit more grace. And so many women, especially, have learned to survive by staying alert, by staying responsible, and by staying ahead of the next thing that could fall apart. And that's exhausting. So when we finally try to slow down, when you finally try to be present or relax, everything in your body tightens. You're scanning, your mind is like a reel, it's racing, it's resisting the relaxation, the ease, not because it's broken, but because it's learned that being on guard is keeping you safe. It's learned that being on guard, continuing with the hustle and bustle is your natural rhythm. So anything that derives or rather differs from that, is going to feel unnatural. So that's where we have these moments where we lay down and we just can't relax, or we're at the spa having a massage and we just can't relax, right? Being present is what we're trying to achieve. And when we haven't been able to be present with ourselves, let alone anyone else, truly, because we're trying to stay 10 steps ahead of the game, whether it's aging, whether it's, taking care of the kids, making sure everyone has everything, it's going to be really hard to just be present and be in that, not that mindset, because presence isn't necessarily a mindset, but it's a state of safety. So presence is a state of safety, and we really truly cannot think our way into presence. It's not a discipline your nervous system can really learn through thinking alone. We can't discipline our nervous system into calm. So when we are in these states of dis-ease and disharmony, we can't force our body to soften before it's ready. So presence can only return then if our body feels safe enough to exhale. And for many of us, safety hasn't been the default state for a very long time, myself included. I actually had Becky, if you listened to the last podcast, we were on a call today, and she asked me, when was the last time your body actually felt safe? And she called it out. She's like, I don't think you've actually truly been in a state of safety for over 15 years. And that was a big moment where I had to reflect and be very honest and be like, yeah, you're probably right. So safety, it doesn't matter how many tools and integrations we have, if our body isn't in a place where it can feel safe, it's gonna take an awfully long time for us to learn these regulation pieces. So having compassion with yourself as you move into these states and learn and relearn and unlearn is your number one key here today. So today we're going to talk all about nervous system regulation. We're going to have a conversation about why presence returns when the body feels safe, and being able to find a way in which we can go into that place of safety is how we're going to manage that here today. So when we think about our nervous system and the energy body connection, we have to also consider the energy body. The energy body is all around you, it's within you, it is interconnected and touching on every single aspect of who you are and what and where and what you have seen, where you've been, how you've digested all those things in your life up until this moment in time. And your nervous system is also a key piece in this. Your nervous system doesn't exist in isolation. It's in constant communication with your emotional body, your intuitive field, and your energetic system. So when we have unprocessed stress, it doesn't just disappear because we're not thinking about it. It lodges itself into the body, into the energetic field, in the way in which we breathe, the way we brace, and the way that you stay half ready for impact, right? It's like we're always bracing for that next ball to drop. And that's sometimes also when we feel it's hard to be happy or excited for something, we're waiting for it to be taken away. So for a lot of people, joy and excitement is sometimes the hardest place to be because it's been taken away so many times. So you've learned that, to feel joyful and excited is actually not safe because it's going to fall into a deep disappointment. So over time, what this can look like within our body to have that unprocessed stress living and lodging within the energetic body is difficulty resting. It can look like mental fog. It can show up as emotional overwhelm or chronic tension, right? I think if you have a lot of headaches and tension in your neck and shoulders, that can be from unprocessed stress. It can also show up as feeling disconnected from your intuition, not being able to truly make a decision, asking for someone else to make the decision for you. That's because your intuition is not online because of this overwhelm. You might always feel on even when you're exhausted, you're always performing. Now, it's also very important to know that none of this means that you're failing. It just means that you've adapted. You've curated this system of survival to adapt to your day-to-day life that maybe you're not living now, but you were living then. So when we look at rest and when it feels hard, this is something that I really want to name gently because it surprises a lot of people that when rest feels hard, it's not because you don't want it, not because you don't want to rest, but your body doesn't recognize it as safe to do so yet. So when we have lived in a place of high alert for a long time, slowing down can actually activate discomfort. Your system might be saying to your body, wait, what are we missing? Have you ever sat down? I know many of us have sat down and thought, what am I missing? What haven't I done? Especially if you've been working all day. It's like, wait a minute. You start scanning for tasks you might have missed. That is that, wait, what are we missing? Response activated by slowing down when we've been on alert for a long time. That's the discomfort that's coming into play. Wait, what am I missing? Who's watching, right? Who's watching me? Am I being watched right now? Maybe I'm having a coffee at the coffee shop, but it's like, who's watching me? Because there's some shame or some guilt in resting and enjoying a quiet cup of coffee. What happens if we let go? What happens if I rest? If I close my eyes for 15 minutes, maybe I'm not going to be able to get up for the rest of the day because I'm going to be so exhausted because I'm finally going to give in. Or what if I cry? If I start crying, I don't think I'll be able to stop, right? This is not resistance necessarily to resting. It's a protection piece that's being called upon by your body to create this space where you can stay in what is familiar rather than begin to move into that place of rest and digest. And it always deserves compassion, not pressure, not judgment. So, having compassion for yourself or someone you know and love that has been in that elevated state that's just now trying to come out of whatever they've experienced in life to really rest and digest and enjoy that quiet moment of drinking their coffee in the morning. It's to have that compassion piece. It's not just going to, they're not just going to be able to go from a workaholic to enjoying that cup of coffee and maybe a leisurely stroll, maybe resting on the couch. It's going to take weeks and months for them to begin to feel like it's safe to actually rest and digest. So, one thing I help individuals with is being able to rest and go into rest and digest within their nervous system. So, allowing that nervous system to come out of fight or flight. And I do so by this foundation that I've called the Embodied Glow Method. This is a method I use in every single one of my sessions where we don't try to override the nervous system. We don't push the body into calm and we don't rehash stories just to prove how strong we are. With the sessions I do within the Embodied Glow Method, we never ever have to go back and talk about what's happened. And I know that seems like, well, Sarah, that seems a little counterproductive. What are you bypassing? It's not that we're not bypassing per se. What's happening here is we're not using the talk therapy method, because in the talk therapy method, our body can't decipher whether it is something that has happened. What we're talking about is something that's happened in the past or it's something that's happening now. So we tend to go into fight or flight, or we tend to lock up, or people feel exhausted or worse leaving a talk therapy session than when they came in, because the body thinks that it needs to protect you in that moment because we're putting ourselves back into the situation that caused us dis-ease in trauma, possibly in the first place. So why we don't rehash old stories, or don't have to rather, is because we work with the body and the energy field to create safety. So I can sense and feel what's in and around the body energetically, what's been imprinted there, without you even having to speak on it. So for a lot of people, it leaves them a little gobstruck, because I'll be like, oh, so when did you hurt your right knee? What's going on there? Or, oh, you're getting a lot of tension migraines. I can feel it on the right side of your face. It's a little bit tingly. This has been going on for a while, hasn't it? Or I'm feeling this discomfort in the backside of your heart. You're carrying this heaviness of grief that has been moving on for a long, or holding on for a long time, and it's going down into your left arm, which is the feminine. So tell me about mom or girlfriend and what that connection is. And we get very specific into it, and it's always this moment of realizing that the body holds everything in which we witness and experience in life. And so when we're working with the body and the energetic field, we're going to first begin to create a sense of safety. We're going to support regulation first. And from there, we're going to be able to move into clarity, elevating that intuition, and presence begins to return on its own time. So this is really a moment of integration. This is a method of integration, not excavation, so that your system is able to lead and then we get to listen. So it's not us dictating what we've been through, it's our body showing us how it's influenced us within our body and our nervous system, how the fallout of that situation affected us energetically, emotionally, and so on and so forth. So we really listen, we get very clear and open about what's going on, because the body doesn't lie. And when the body is able to return to this state of ease, because when we first go into a session, we have a little chat, we move into a meditation, maybe an energetic clearing of sorts. I've gone into shamanic journeys with clients, excavations of sorts. So when I say excavation, I'm not talking about like excavation that I was just referring to, but rather we go into the past lives and we find out what the hidden keys are there. And it gets to be pretty fascinating. So we get to kind of go down to the root of where a response is stemming from, even though a situation might have happened, a year ago. It could be built upon a situation that actually occurred in infancy or in early childhood or the teenage years that's built upon this most recent situation by reoccurring themes or experiences. So we go down to the very bottom. It's like pulling the thorn out of the finger rather than just putting a band-aid on it. And it becomes really fascinating to see how quickly the energetic body and the nervous system begins to shift, how quickly it begins to feel safer and more relaxed, and the shoulders drop and the breath deepens. It becomes palpable to feel the changes, but also I'm able to witness it with my own eyes and my own ears, the change in cadence of speech, the change in respirations, that it's their depth, their frequency. So being able to get clear on where we're moving through, but also where it may be stemming from is really interesting. So when we're returning online, when we're moving through a system like, excuse me, like the Embodied Glow Method, we're able to move out of fight or flight and into that very subtle place of rest and digest. Things become clear, you become grounded. Decision making feels less frantic, and emotions move through instead of getting stuck or feeling as though they're caught in your throat. Your energy actually stops leaking everywhere. So you don't become someone new within these sessions. That is definitely not the point. You remember rather yourself beneath the survival layers. You become more connected with who you are beyond those years and learned ways of surviving. You return back to home. You return back to you. And that is the most beautiful, beautiful thing to witness, is when someone sits up at the end of a session and their eyes are so clear, their skin is glowing, their shoulders are relaxed, and they're just breathing so deeply, and they just look at you and be like, wow, that was amazing. I don't remember the last time I actually felt this calm. And with that is the greatest gift, to be able to witness that, to be able to help someone move through those steps of reintegrating the safety back within their nervous system, within their life, right? So for so many of us, we've lived through years and years and years of survival, whether, it's being a mom, right? Moving through childbirth or adoption, surrogacy, whatever that looks like, and being in charge of a human being, or even pets, right? Let's not discredit the work it takes to have pets and animals. We can lose our self-identity so quickly, especially if we've had to be in survival through traumas and other life events. So to be able to kind of peel back those onion layers and get back to the core of who you are, even just for a few minutes, for you to feel that she's there or he's there. I'm here. Wow, that's me. I haven't felt her for a long time. That is a profound rewiring that moves within the body, and it trickles out into every aspect of your life. It's like getting that spark back. It's getting that hope back. And the more you do that, the more we come into that place of rehoming ourselves within, letting her come forward, the more she's going to start to shine through. And the more yourself you're going to feel, the more grounded, the more clear your decisions are going to be, the more aware of yourself you're going to be, the easier it's going to be to sleep at night, to not, have an outburst when you're overwhelmed. You're going to be able to respond rather than react. And it's really all about not trying to fix your focus, not trying to, there's so much around healing. We're not trying to heal you. We're just trying to breathe life back into that piece of you that's had to kind of take a back seat for a long period of time. It's like inviting your past self and that version of you that's had to kind of be put on the back burner in order to serve everyone else. It's inviting her back into the picture. It's inviting her to walk with you now, not stay, 12 steps behind you, but walk in unison, one on one, together as one once again. So I love, love, love introducing the Embodied Glow Method to others because you're really getting that glow back. You're really getting your glow, your energy, your essence back. So if you've been trying to fix your focus, if you've been frustrated with your body for not calming down, if you've been feeling like you're a failure or shaming yourself for having outbursts or just having no patience, or if you've ever wondered why presence feels so elusive, why am I always doom scrolling or needing to preoccupy my mind, I want you to hear me when I say that your body is not behind, it's not broken. There's nothing wrong with you. Your body is so wise, your nervous system is incredibly full of wisdom, and it's been protecting you. So, presence isn't something that you can earn through doing more. You don't get more presence or ease because you've done all the chores in one day. Presence and ease is something that returns when safety is restored. So, if this episode has resonated, you are so welcome to follow, give it a 5-star review, or share. I don't get paid from this podcast. It simply helps these conversions reach people. So when you're liking and sharing and following, it helps boost the algorithm for my podcast to reach more people who might be quietly struggling and don't know why. And if you've ever felt a quiet yes while listening, if you've ever felt that anything I said today you'd like to learn more about, I offer free consultation calls. You can head over to my website, healingwithsarah.ca. There is more information as well there on the Embodied Glow Method. You can book a one-on-one session with me. My consultation calls, like I said, they're 20-minute calls where we get to know each other, see if we're a good fit, maybe make a plan of action. They're free. You can book through there as well. So until next time, be gentle with your system. It's been doing the best it knows how to. And I want to thank you for taking time for yourself today, for really diving into this podcast and taking a listen. So as I leave you today, I invite you rather, to take 3 nice, deep, intentional breaths in and out, and just allow yourself those few seconds of presence. Take care.